In this video, you'll learn how to upgrade the firmware on your BE367 or FE210 locks. Only PED 500 locks can be upgraded using this process. In just a minute, I'll show you how to confirm your lock is a PED 500. Before we begin, let's take a look at the items you'll need to complete your upgrade. All the accessories you need are shown and labeled here. Before performing the upgrade, you'll need to first download the updated version of the firmware to your computer. Your Schlage representative can provide instructions on where to find and download the software upgrade. Download the file and save to your computer. You want to remember where you saved the file. It's easy to remember by just saving it to your desktop. Now make sure your HHD is charged, turned on, and connected to your computer using the USB cable. You can confirm the HHD is connected and recognized by your computer by checking in the Windows Mobile Device Center. You should see your device with a check mark showing the device is connected. Find the file you saved and right-click on it, then select Copy. Now you'll open the HHD files on your computer. Go to the Start menu and open your computer. Open your HHD by double-clicking on it. Your HHD won't be named exactly the same as this one, but is likely to be named similarly. Once in your HHD, you'll see two folders. Click on the root folder, which is labeled with a backslash. With the folder opened, right-click anywhere in the folder and select Paste. This will paste the file you copied into this location. The file will be shown as an S19 file format, as in the example shown here. The firmware is now transferred to the HHD. Now connect the CIP reader to the serial cable and connect the cable to your HHD device. You're now ready to upgrade the firmware on your locks. You will need to follow these directions for each lock. Once you are at the lock to be upgraded, check to see if the HHD is on, then log into Schlage Utility Software using your usual password. Now present your programming I button to the lock. You'll see a series of green and red flashing lights. Attach your HHD to the lock using the HH serial cable and CIP connector. On your HHD, a message will pop up saying, "Previous audit reports exist." Overwrite? Click Yes. The HHD will then retrieve audits from the lock. Once that is complete, click OK. Then continue to the next step. Variations in lock and HHD settings may result in a different screen message than shown on the HHD here. If this occurs, allow the HHD to go through its normal programming routine. Once complete, you can begin the process of upgrading the firmware. Now you can confirm the lock you are programming is a PED 500 model. On the bottom of the HHD screen, select Device Options and choose Lock Properties. The HHD will retrieve the information from your lock and display it on the screen. You should see PED 500. Once you have confirmed the lock version, you can now upgrade the firmware. Return to Device Options and then select Firmware Update. The screen will display the firmware you placed in the root folder of the HHD. Select the firmware and then click OK. Then confirm your selection by clicking Yes. You will then be asked to present a valid programming credential to the lock. Because you have already presented the programming I button to the lock, just click OK. The HHD will now upgrade the firmware. This process may take several minutes to complete. Once you see a message stating the firmware is successfully updated, click OK. The lock will beep and blink as it leaves programming mode. Now you can verify the firmware was successfully transferred to the lock. Remove the CIP from the lock and present the programming button again. The lock will flash a series of green and red lights. Reattach your CIP and HHD to the lock. From Device Options on the HHD, go to Lock Properties. If the firmware version seen here is the same as the firmware you placed in the root folder of the HHD, the transfer was successful. And that's it, you're done. The firmware on your lock is successfully upgraded. You can now disconnect the HHD from the lock. Thanks for watching, and thanks for choosing Schlage.